Hello, I'm Catherine Maguire. Welcome to the Soul Alchemist Podcast, where each Wednesday I share wisdom, inspiration, and practical tools to support you on your journey of personal and spiritual growth and transformation. You are very welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me today. On what is a beautiful day in southern Italy, we have had, oh my goodness, we have had so much rain. But this morning, the sun is out. There's those gorgeous little puffy white clouds in the sky. And when I was out earlier with my dog, you can see all the way down the valley. There's gorgeous mist in the valley and it just rolls all the way out to the sea. I put a photo of it on my Insta story. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see it. But it's, oh my goodness, a glorious day. So I hope wherever you're in the world, whether you're stepping into the energy of winter in the northern hemisphere or stepping into the energy of summer in the southern hemisphere, I hope you are finding beauty in this season. So today I want to talk to you about taking a half step. A what, Catherine? A half step. Because I got a message during the week from one of our podcast listeners who said she wasn't in a great space and she normally listens to the podcast every week, but just because she hasn't been in a great headspace, she's fallen behind, even though she knows listening to the podcast will help her. She's just got stuck into that rut that I think many of us can get stuck in. When we're not great, we stop doing the things that help us feel good. So I said to her to listen to episode 20, because episode 20 is the episode where I ask you to think about what's the best that can happen. What's the best that can happen? So in fairness to her, she went off and she had a listen and she came back to me and she said, I really enjoyed the episode. But when you asked the question, what's the best that can happen? I froze and I just couldn't move past that. I'm in such, it's just been a really rough run of things and I'm in a dark place and I can't even think about, or my being can't even go to the place of what's the best that can happen. And I was so grateful for her sharing and so grateful for her honesty, because it reminded me of something very important that I haven't spoken about yet, which is sometimes when we're in that place, we're either in that dark place in our mind, or we've hit an old pattern and something's come back around again, or we've just got stuck in a knot in our heads. We can't see a way out, and taking a step just feels like too much. We're stuck in resistance, or maybe we're even kind of having that inner tantrum, which would have never worked out before. Why is it going to work out now? That kind of thing. And just asking the part of our being that is hurt or afraid or tender to take a step is just too much. So I want to give you a really beautiful tool today, which is to take a half step and to explain what that is and how you do it. And what that does is it opens up space, it opens up room for a little bit of light to come in, a little bit of new energy, a little bit of possibility, a little bit just of like a breath, like even a half breath where there wasn't one before. Okay. So the first part of this is recognizing that you're stuck, or recognizing that you're in that dark place, or recognizing that you've tied yourself up in knots. All right. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. That's human nature. We have those moments. Those moments can last for days or weeks or months. Right. So that's part of the human journey. But when we're in those places, we often think like, this is it. It's a fait accompli. There's no way out of it. It's always going to be like this. I failed. I've fallen on my arse, whatever it is. And it's always a transitionary phase. All right. It's usually the place you get to before an expansion or before something shifts. All right. Or it's an opportunity for healing an old pattern or an old way of being. And if we go into that victim-y place of, well, it's happening to me and there's nothing I can do about it, it's always like this and I'm never going to get out of it. If we go into that, and we can do, oh my goodness, I've served plenty of time in my victim archetype. I know it well. But if we can recognize it for what it is, which it is actually an alchemy point, it's a point where something can change. But maybe the change has to happen slowly and gradually. Okay, so let me give you a few practical examples. So maybe you have been single for quite some time and you've decided to date again, and you're going out on a date and you really like this person. You've gone with several dates and those voices start to kick in going, well, it never worked out before. why is it going to work out now? Or maybe the voices are going, maybe you really like this person and you're going, the voices are going, run before you get hurt, run, leave now, leave, run. So, the voices. Or maybe you have, maybe you've really struggled with your mental health, and you just feel like it's always going to be like this and there's no way out of it. And everyone in my family struggled with mental health. So that's just it. That's the way it's going to be. Or maybe you've always struggled with your finances and you're always behind the curve, or you kind of get ahead and then you fall behind again, or you feel like you're never really, in control of your money or your spending or whatever it is. All right. So it can be anything, all those places where you hit a pattern, where you feel like you're not, you've been doing personal development work or, spiritual work or inner work, but you still don't feel yourself. You feel like, oh, that potential that's inside me, I still haven't accessed it. I haven't connected with it yet. Or maybe you feel like, you're just stuck. You're just stuck in a rut. You just can't get past where you're at. Or there's some pattern playing out and it's like, oh my God, this is version 56, the same pattern. Why does the same thing happen to me all the time? All right. So the first step is awareness. What is going on? What is going on? And name it. Name it. Instead of letting it be this spiraling voice in your head or this spiraling energy in your head or in your being, or this heaviness or this darkness, whatever it is, name it. Speak it out. What is actually going on for you? Because when you speak it out, you free up the energy a little bit. You make it conscious. All right. So whatever's going on for you, speak it out. Speak it out in the shower. Speak it out when you're sitting in the loo. Speak it out to yourself when you're sitting having a cup of coffee, whatever it is. But actually give form to the words, because once you can give form to what you're experiencing, it actually turns the volume down of what's going on in your head. All right. And those voices just kind of get a little bit quieter, a little bit less intense. All right. So speak it out loud. I am terrified that I am going to get my heart smashed again if I get into this relationship. All right. I am terrified that I am not going to have enough money to meet my bills. I am terrified that, as much as I think I'm gifted or I've got all these qualities, that I'm not ever going to figure out what to do with my life. Whatever it is, give it voice. Give it voice. Meet whatever that fearful, tender part of you is by giving it voice. Okay, that's the first step. Step 2, asking that tender part of you to take a step. Like, what's the best thing that can happen? If that feels too much, here's the next bit to do, which is we just want to open a little space. All right. And we do this way. So imagine, let's go back to, you've had a series of unsuccessful relationships. You're afraid of getting your heart smashed again. Okay. So that's the bit that's the tender part of you. So this is what I want you to do. There's 2 bits to this. So the first part is even though my relationships have been unsuccessful in the past. So you're naming the part of you that is tender and you're naming the experience. Even though my relationships have been unsuccessful in the past. And here's the bit where we open space. I am willing to open to the possibility that things can change. I am willing to open to the possibility that things can change. So the 2 parts to this, it's like fill in the blanks. Even though, and then fill in whatever your fear is or your experience is, your lived experience is, even though. And the bit that comes after that is, I am willing to open to the possibility that. And then fill in the other end of the sentence. All right. And I will put this phrase in the show notes and the episode notes underneath. All right. So let's play with this a little bit. Even though I have always, been stuck for cash, or even though I have always had an issue with money, I am willing to open to the possibility that I can learn how to take control of my spending and manage my cash. Even though I have always had an issue with my finances, I am willing to open to the possibility that I can be abundant in all areas of my life. Okay. Even though my family has always struggled with mental health issues, I am willing to open to the possibility that it can be different for me. Even though I have never figured out how to tap into my potential, I am willing to open to the possibility that I am able to do that. Okay. So, do you see how this works? It's not about taking a big step. It's not about going out and conquer the world. It's not about, just, knocking all your demons on their head. It's not about that. It's just about reaching to the part of you that's really struggling and giving that part of you space to breathe and open and expand to go, well, what if I could open just to the possibility? So I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and we were talking about, we're both in this similar place of, something's moving. We're in this kind of birth canal holding place. I wrote about it in the newsletter yesterday, if you got my newsletter. And she said to me, she said, it's really, about trusting the process. And I could feel the part of me that didn't want to trust. So that's what I've been working with this week, which is, even though I struggle with trust, I am willing to open to the possibility that I can trust the process. Okay. So you just play with it. You play with it to find a phrase that allows an opening in your being, allows some light to come in. All right. And that's all you're trying to do, because if you can open that, they say if the Titanic had changed its course by 2 degrees, it would never have hit that iceberg. Okay. So all you're trying to do with this is to open by those 2 degrees in your being and let some light in, let some possibility in, because then what happens is the universe has an opportunity to meet you. But if you are so locked in fear, or if you are so locked in it's never going to happen, or if you're so locked in having a tantrum, and I know I get like that, I have an absolute tantrum. Well, it's never going to work out, and what's the point? And then, I might as well just forget about it. And I just really get into that tantrumy place in myself. If you're in that life, the universe can't meet you. There's no space for it to get in and help you out. So we want to create just a little opening, that little 2 degrees of an opening where the door of your being opens and some light can get in and the universe can walk through to help you. And it's not about giving your power. It's not about giving your agency away to the universe to come in and save you. But it's about opening up space where some new energy can come in, where you can do something different, or you can heal this old pattern, or you can change it. The story can change. You're always the author of your own story, and you can write a new story at any time. Just because your story has been this way for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years or 50 years doesn't mean you can't write a new story. You always get to be the author of your own story and write the next chapter a different way. So that's what I want to leave you with today. If you're struggling, if you're having a hard time of it, if you're in a dark place, if you're really frustrated, or if something is going well and you can feel your inner saboteur coming up to trip you over, because maybe this could go well and oh my God, what would that be like? Or maybe this relationship could go well and oh my God, what if I actually open my heart to this person and then I fall flat on my face? So whether you're stuck in a tight spot or your inner saboteur is coming up to cobble you, this is for you. Even though, so name the fear, name the past pattern, even though, whatever it is, I am willing to open to the possibility. All right. And then fill in the blank. And if you can't fill in the blank at the end, do this. Even though it has always been like this, I am willing to open to the possibility that I can change. Even though it has always been like this, I am willing to open to the possibility that I can change. Even though it has always been like this, I am willing to open to the possibility of doing something new, something different, something in a whole new way. Okay. So that is my offering to you today. I'll write it in the comments. and practice with it, play with it. Let me know what you come up with. And if you're really struggling to get to open and see, Catherine, I don't know, I'm so stuck. I don't even know what to put in there. I don't even know how to put my fear into that sentence. Get in touch with me. Get in touch with me. I'll help you do it. I'll help you do it. So here's your homework for the week. Wherever you're stuck, wherever you're resisting, wherever you feel your saboteur coming in, even though, fill in the blank, or even though it's always been like this, I am willing to open to the possibility that I can change. Have an absolutely glorious week. I'm sending you so much love. And as always, if you found this episode helpful, please like it, comment on it, or share it with a friend. And I will see you for more Soul Alchemy next Wednesday. Much love. Slán agus ciao.